So we will start with our 9mm hook. First, we will make a magic ring, chain 2, and then place 12 half double crochet inside of the magic ring. Our next step is to create a slip stitch in order to join the row together. And there are two ways that you could do this. You can place your hook in the first stitch, which is the one right here, and place a slip stitch, or you can place it into the second chain that you created to start the round, and that will be this one right here. And sometimes it can be tricky to figure out which one is which. So an option for that is to place a stitch marker in whichever one that you would like in the beginning so you could remember, or you could just take a look here and see that here, this is the first chain, this is the second chain, so that means that this is the first stitch right here. So I like to place my slip stitches in the first stitch, but you could also do place it in the chain 2. It's up to you, but just make sure that you keep it the same for the rest of the rounds. So we're going to place our hook there, slip stitch, and then after the slip stitch, we're going to chain 2. And this is where you can place that stitch marker there if you want to keep track of where it is. Then you want to continue a pattern of a half double crochet increased followed by a half double crochet, and you want to do that 6 times around for a total of 18 stitches. So let me do that with you. So this is our first stitch, and since I placed my slip stitch in the first stitch, I will place my hook into that same stitch that I did for my slip stitch, create the half double crochet, and then go back in for an increase. And then in the second stitch here, I will place a half double crochet followed by an increase, and then a half double crochet. We're just continuing the pattern here, and then a half double crochet increase, and then a half double crochet increase, and then a half double crochet, and then I will meet you at the end. So we've reached the end of round 2. To close that up, we will slip stitch to close the round, and then chain 2. For round 3, we will create a pattern of half double crochet increase followed by 2 half double crochet, and then do that 5 more times for a total of 24 stitches. So just like before, we'll do an increase in the first stitch, and then in the next stitch we'll do a half double crochet, and then in the third stitch we'll do a half double crochet, and then we'll start the pattern all over again by doing an increase, followed by 2 half double crochet, and then continue that pattern again until we reach the end. At the end of round 3, we'll slip stitch again, and then to start round 4, we'll chain 2, and then for this pattern, we will place a half double crochet increase followed by 3 half double crochet, and do that for a total of 6 times for a total of 30 stitches. So to end round 4, we'll slip stitch again and then chain 2. For round 5, we will place a half double crochet increase followed by 4 half double crochet, and do that until you reach the end. Now for round 6, we're just going to place a stitch in every single stitch for a total of 36 stitches. So there will be no increases in this round. And we're going to do this for a total of 7 rows. So at the end, you should have 12 rows. So we're just going to place 1 half double crochet in each of these, and then I will meet you back after I get to row 12. I have completed my 12th row, and now this is a great time to take the hat and put it on your head and make sure that it actually fits you. And if it's too small, then you might want to size up on your hook, and if it's too big, then you want to size down on your hook. So the next part is to create the slit that's going to create the face opening on your ski mask. I have already put in my slip stitch and chain 2. Next, I'm going to place 11 half double crochet. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So after this 11th half double crochet, we're going to chain 14. So now we're going to skip 13 stitches and place a half double crochet in the 14th stitch. So we're not going to count this one because we've already placed a half double crochet in there. So we're going to start here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then this is the 14th one. You can place a stitch marker in there if you want, but we're just going to wrap the yarn around our hook, place it in here, and when you do this, make sure that this isn't twisted, so make sure that it's actually facing up, and then pull that tight. Oops, it can be a little tricky, so pull that through, and then this may get a little twisted here, but that's okay. And then you want to pull it through all 3 loops. Okay, and then you want to continue with 11 more half double crochet after that. We've reached the end. We should have 37 half double crochet, and we're going to place a slip stitch to connect that round and then chain 2. And this is a great time to put on your ski mask and make sure that this chain part actually lays comfortably on your nose, because if it's too tight, then that'll be uncomfortable for you. So if it's too tight, then you want to add at least 1 more chain, and if it's too loose, then you want to remove 1 chain. But just remember that this is supposed to be interchangeable, so it's supposed to be able to comfortably fit over your nose, and if you want to, pull it down over your chin. So that's why I added the extra the chain. For this next round, we're going to place a half double crochet in all of these stitches. Now when we get to the front, we're going to place a half double crochet in each of these chains in the front here, and we should end with a total of 37 stitches. So first I'm going to start with the 11 So first, okay, so first I'm gonna place the 11 half double crochet in the regular stitches, and then I'll meet you right before the chains. So now I'm right before the chains, and to start crocheting into them, we're just gonna wrap around and then place that through like so. So for the first one, it's really easy to place it underneath these two strands right here, that V, and place a half double crochet here. However, for the rest, it's kind of tricky to go underneath there. So you can have the option to make it look a little bit cleaner by separating that bottom piece here and placing it through here like so. And that will make it a little bit cleaner. But for me, I don't really mind the look of just going in under one loop like so. So it's up to you. As you do this, I would recommend counting to 14 as you do this. So that was my second one. So now I'm on to my third one here. My fourth one. And then I'm just going to continue placing it in these chains. And with this, it can kind of get a little tricky to understand like where's the next chain, because there's a lot of strands going on. But I would say take your time and look at the one that you just placed in. So this would be the next one right here. And like I said, count as you go so you're not adding too many. Okay, so this is my 14th half double crochet that were in the chains. And as you can see here, it can look a little tricky and it may look like you have one more to go, but that's actually not the case. This is actually the next stitch right here. So that's why I say count as you go, because it can look like you could add one more here and then your stitch count can be off. So this is our next one here. And then we'll just continue by placing 11 more half double crochet here for a total of 37 stitches. So next we're going to place a half double crochet in each of the stitches for a total of 37 stitches, and we're going to do that for 4 rows. So I'll meet you at the end. Now that I've completed those rows, we should have a total of 18 rows. Next, we will flip this over and we will no longer need our 9mm hook. We'll take out our 6mm hook and then start the ribbing. To start the ribbing, we will place our ski mask upside down and then the right side facing towards you, outward. And then we are going to place our hook in the loop and then chain 6. So if you want your ribbing to be longer, you could, or shorter, you can either add or take away some chains here. Next step is to skip this chain, place your hook in that chain right there, and then create a single crochet. Then we will continue to place a single crochet in the rest of the loops for a total of 5 stitches. So for our ribbing, we are actually working vertically, so we're going up and down. However, we want to connect this to the base of our ski mask, which is horizontal. So the way that we're going to do that is by using slip stitches. And we're just going to place our slip stitch here and pull through. Next, we're going to continue going vertically up. So we're going to turn So we're going to turn our ski mask. Okay, so to go back up, we're actually going to skip this slip stitch right here because it's not a single crochet. So we're going to place our yarn over that slip stitch so that we could skip it, and then place our hook in the back loop of the first single crochet in the previous row. And then we're just going to pull up a loop and then continue the single crochet like normal. And then we're going to continue placing single crochet in the back loop of the previous row. And then at the end, we should have 5 single crochet. Then we're going to chain 1, turn our work, and then we're just going to go back down. Throughout this whole time, we should consistently have 5 single crochet. Okay, so now we've gone back to the bottom. We're actually going to place a slip stitch decrease here. So in order to do that, we're going to place our hook in the first loop, pull up a loop, put it in the next stitch, pull up a loop, and then we're going to pull through 2 of those. So similar to what we did before, we're going to skip this slip stitch, put our yarn in the front, and then put our hook in the back loop of the first stitch in the previous row, pull up a loop, and then pull through to make a single crochet. And then we're just going to continue that up. So to make the ribbing, we're just going to complete those 4 rows and just repeat them until you get to the end. So when we reach the bottom, we're going to alternate between slip stitches and slip stitch decrease. So I'm going to do that with you one more time. So I'm at the end and I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to turn that around. 5 back loop single crochet down the row. And then I'm going to place a regular slip stitch here. And then we're just going to continue that pattern. So now while you're doing this, you may get confused on whether you did a slip stitch decrease or a slip stitch in the previous rows. But a good way to figure this out is by actually looking at the stitches itself. So for the slip stitch, you will notice that it is in between 2 posts. So right here, here's the first post and here's the second post. And this slip stitch that we put connects in between. Whereas with the slip stitch, because we combine 2 stitches together, the slip stitch will actually be on top of a post. So this slip stitch decrease is like on par with that post here, whereas this is in between these 2 posts. And similar to what we have here, you can see the slip stitch is in between these 2 posts. So if you ever forget, just look at the stitches, and that's an easy way to keep on track. And I'll continue and then I'll meet you at the end. Okay, now that we've completed all of the ribbing and all of the stitches, next we are going to close the ribbing together. So you may have ended down here, which is fine. But in either case, we're just going to put them right side together like this. And I'm actually going to chain 1 here. If you're at the end, chain 1. If you're not, don't chain 1. So we're going to place the ribbing right sides together like so, and then place your hook in the opposite panel, and then place your hook in the back loop of the current row that your hook is like originally attached to. And then you're going to pull through both and then do a slip stitch. And we're going to do a slip stitch like that all the way down. So put your hook through here and then put it in the back loop of this one and then slip stitch. So if you're going this way up, you're just going to be doing the same thing, putting your hook through the first panel through the entire stitch, and then in the back loop of the last row, and then slip stitch, and then keep on doing that. And we should have done that for a total of 5 times. And this is my last one right here. Maybe kind of tricky to find it, especially if you're going downwards like I am. And then we do our final slip stitch and then chain 1. And then you could finally cut your yarn. And then using your darning needle, you could fasten in this end string right here, and then also the one inside right here. So there's only 2 that you need to put in. But after that, your ski mask is done. However, there's one more optional step that you could do. So you could choose to add a drawstring at the bottom ribbing right here so that you could tighten it. You can stop here if you want, but I like to go the extra mile and do that. So we're just gonna take our yarn, make a slip knot. After the slip knot, just chain until it's long enough to go around your neck and then comfortably like hang down to whatever distance you want it to be. Just make sure that it could go around your entire ski mask and have a little bit of like some length at the end. But I don't have an actual number of chains to do. I've created my chains to the length that I want it to be. And then now I'm just going to compare this this string that I have in the beginning and just try my best to cut it to the same length. And now we have this drawstring right here. So now we could take our darning needle, put that string through, and then just find the bottom middle of the ribbing. And for me, I would say there's 2 in the middle. So I'm gonna start here. So I'm gonna go down and under, and you'll see that they should be like little gaps here. So we're just gonna weave down, under, and keep on weaving that through. And you should just need to pull like a little bit to get it through. And then just keep on doing that all the way around by just finding the little gaps here and putting your darning needle through there. Just going up and down and alternating. So I made the drawstrings even, and now we're done. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. This is my first free tutorial on YouTube. So please stay tuned for my other tutorials and other videos as well. I'm going to be doing crochet with me, vlogs, advice, all those things. So thank you so much for watching. Please leave a comment for any questions or comments or anything like that. But yeah, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.